Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it works. Take it all at once.
Hey, guys.
I want to get another one for the kids.
Can I borrow that one?
Thank you so much.
Hey, my baby.
I'm sorry, they just need.
Well, second, we're in the second.
Yes,
Oh, we're not, so we're in my second year.
Next
year.
year.
Today's last year.
Oh, okay.
You guys ready? All right, everyone, welcome to the annual meeting. Appreciate you coming. We have two meetings today. The first one is the annual membership meeting. This meeting, as per our docs, we have to have it every year. However, during this meeting is when we appoint or, for new candidates for the board. But this being the second year of the two-term, the board remains. There's no elections this year. So this is more a formality of a meeting. However, we have added something in there to have a discussion today, and we'll get to that. So I'm going to go ahead and call the first meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the dot. And we will go ahead and move on down the agenda. We will try to close this meeting up pretty quickly so we can get to the discussion. There's no election, like I said, today because it is the second year of the two-term. So the board will remain the same. President Mark Harmet, Vice President Andrew Choi, Treasurer Under Turbo, Secretary Nick Triello, and the directors Robert Degar, Drew Olela, tricky one, and Sharon Shaw. Was it good? No, not accurate.
Easy.
So the board will remain the same. We would have needed the quorum of the association if there were any votes. We don't have a quorum, but there are no votes. So we'll skip past the third one. The quorum of the board would have been half of the
I can't
building
hear
plus
him.
one.
Could you talk a little louder, please?
Speaking as loud.
Okay, I can try it a little louder. Sure, you can, yeah, maybe come in the front. Might have been a little better. All right. The proof of notice of meeting is an affidavit that Mark will sign for me now, just showing that everybody received notice and the notice were posted in the meeting according to the Florida statute.
Yeah. Perfect. Now I can hear.
There we go. Thank you, sir. All right. Now, the next item on the list is actually on the agenda. It's actually the discussion for the upcoming rules and regulations. But I think that we're going to spend most of the time on this. So I'd like to request for a motion to table this until the end of both meetings. That way we can open and close both meetings and then we'll get into the discussion. How do you guys feel, board?
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so we will close this. So that's the next item. Actually, we will go ahead and adjourn the annual membership meeting. Motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
A second motion. All in favor?
Yeah.
6:02. All right, second meeting is going to be just as long. It's the organizational meeting. In this meeting, we will, we will kind of do the election of the officers. We will sign the bank statements for people, for the authorized signers. Again, it's the same board and nothing has changed. So we will go ahead and call the meeting to order at 6:03. This is certifying the quorum of the board. We do have Andre and Nick, Sharon, Drew, and Mark present, and from Castle Group, myself, Mario, and Rick Clyde. Again, we don't have an election of officers because they will all remain the same, just like I read them before. What's that?
Just get a motion.
Okay, yeah, a motion for, can I get a motion for the board staying the way it is, please?
Yes.
And second, Sharon?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item number 4 is the bank signature cards and resolution. That won't change. The authorized user, the authorized signers are going to remain the same, which is Mark and Nick. Do I need to get a motion for that, right?
No,
No,
just
okay, so we
saying
move on. And then, again, the distribution of collection of candidate certifications, everybody's already certified. We don't have to do anything with that. So like I said earlier today, this is more like a formality because we don't have any elections, so there's really nothing to change here. So if I can get a motion to adjourn this meeting, and then we can get into the discussion organization.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, as soon as we're done, we're gonna get right
No,
on.
I would like to know the names of the people on the board.
Well, yeah, I'll repeat it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'll repeat it. The board president is Mark Harmetz, the vice president is Andy Choi. The secretary is Nick Triello, the treasurer is Andre Perlo, and the 3 directors are Robert DeGara, Drew Paolella, I messed that up again, and Sharon Shaw. Okay, those are the board that is since last year. Can I get a motion to adjourn the organizational meeting, please?
I move that we adjourn. I'm a second.
All right, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Adjourned at 6:05. All right, that was hard, huh? Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so now we can start talking about what most people want to know. There's some samples of the draft proxy on the table. If anybody has not seen it and you want to see what the rule changes are, these are the actual amendments. I didn't bring a bunch of them out.
More of the technical ones, right?
Yeah, but I will read them out and read out the explanation, so you guys don't have to read, but if you want to follow along, I don't know how many I printed, I only printed like 5 or 6.
Senior envelope from them.
There were a lot, let's read it last week, that's right.
Here's one.
There were a lot less people here, so I don't think we're going to get any copies. But I'll read each one out loud and their explanation. Okay, there are 25 proposed changes. 3 of them are for the declaration, which will require a higher vote. It will require 66.6% of the membership for that to go through. Those are the first 3 that we're going to read. The rest, the other 22, are changes on the rules that will require only 50% plus 1 of the membership for it to pass. Everybody will get a vote. Nothing is set in stone. These are just proposed rule changes. Everybody will get a chance to vote, and majority will decide if the rule is applied or not.
Mary, what's it? So you let them know, like, when the last time we did any significant changes to these rules and regulations, just so, because I would even want to know myself.
Eons.
That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. The last time that
Last
there were
time, just so
changes,
people don't feel like it's an every year thing, this is.
I couldn't
sort of a
tell you
major.
when because it happened, it was forecastable.
Okay.
So
Right.
it has been more than
It was Walter time. And that's when the board could just change rules
Oh, yeah,
as
you're right.
they wanted.
Right.
Is there any more copies?
It was. There is,
Yes, right.
but we got, didn't you have an extra 4?
Well,
No, that's that. Well, that's that amendment.
I have it here.
All right.
Then there it is.
Thank you very much.
Those were, I think, only three changes happened on that, out of all the ones that we had. There were only 3 changes.
So
That
6
was
years
right
ago,
before.
that was, so 6 years ago.
Mary, the voting is not tonight.
No, it's not. The voting will take place probably around March. To give everybody a chance to kind of go through it.
Can you just also explain why the first 3 rules require more of a vote than the?
Because they are not changes to, they,
Documents.
yeah, they're specifically for the declaration. They're not part of the rules. Declaration requires more of a vote than the rules and regulations. That's why the first 3 require more votes, because they are, you cannot put those in the rules. They have to be part of the
And the
declaration.
declaration has, it's a hierarchy, so that's the top.
All right, so I'm gonna start going. Let's start with the first 3. Number 1 says, should section 10 of the declaration be amended to prohibit smoking in any unit or part of the building and permit smoking only on balconies as long as the patio door to the unit is closed. So this is basically to convert the building into a non-smoking indoor building. right? That you could smoke in your balcony and outside, but not inside. And Ann probably has something, because she probably wants to share what's been going on with the smoking in the
Well,
hallways.
we've been checking into it, and apparently Florida is a Clean Air Act state, which means that Florida has deemed that cigarette smoking is carcinogenic. That then translates into, if you're smoking in your apartment, because we have a shared air system and your cigarette smoke comes into my apartment,
Yeah.
I can sue you and the building
Mm.
for allowing it to happen. So it would be in everybody's best interest
Yes.
to vote no smoking inside the building. Because I know for me myself, it's a hard thing for Sharon, it's a hard thing with both.
There's many people.
Yeah, there's a guy on my phone.
Recently, I received a lot of emails and
Yeah.
complaints about
Yeah.
cigarette and marijuana smoke, so that is
Go ahead,
something that's come along.
You wanna kill yourself, go outside.
go ahead.
What about, sometime in the other day, I smell.
Okay, the pot, I checked into the marijuana also, it doesn't bother me because I don't have that on my floor right now. But apparently, because marijuana has only been, I'm telling you because I went to an attorney to find out what I can do, because I was gonna have to sell my apartment, I can't stay here with cigarette smoke, I just can't live in it. So what he explained to me is marijuana, unlike cigarette smoke, has not been deemed carcinogenic, so you don't really have a leg to stand on yet. But like in Sharon's case, Sharon has to go to the hospital to work. And when she tests positive for marijuana, because
Which has
she's
happened.
inhaling secondhand smoke, that's now a big issue for all of us. So I think the no smoking anywhere but on balconies will kind of help us, because it's not gonna help Nick. He has someone beneath him who smokes weed morning, noon, and
Right,
night.
6 o'clock in the morning.
And it's coming straight inside his
It's like
apartment because he likes to live with his door open. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but I can tell you that as of now, smoke cigarettes on my floor and I can't live with it.
Well, what about the marijuana?
I
Just
think, I
explain
know
it.
my
You
two cents, I
can't-
could be wrong, but maybe there's a fuzzy area for like peaceful and quiet enjoyment, because it is shared air, just
Okay,
like.
not a fuzzy area, there actually is an area, so
Right,
I
of
forgot
course,
to bring
right.
that up.
I'm just saying it may not exactly fit, but we can investigate.
You
it
are
as well.
allowed to have peaceful and quiet enjoyment of your property. So this is where the marijuana smoke comes in. It's interfering with your peaceful, quiet enjoyment of your premise. I get, when Mario is not here, I'm not joking, I get on an average during this season, about maybe 4 times I've had people constantly calling me, can't you stop that marijuana smoke on my floor, on weekends? It's a regular thing.
And if you had a grievance committee, that's a nuisance in your document.
Yes.
That's where we're
Be able to
going.
find
as well.
That's where we're gonna go with the marijuana smoke.
Yeah, we're going based on the nuisance.
We're
That's what
going
we're
after that hard.
Wouldn't that be included with the smoking?
Yes,
Yes, it
we
would.
get it.
Yes, it
passed,
would.
it
That's
would
one,
get
that's one of the
passed.
reasons also, absolutely.
So it's the
I
same.
have a question, yes. When you said a shared air system, what do you mean by shared air?
Well,
I thought each apartment has its own filtering system and.
But the air conditioner is in a loop, right? Our chiller system is a loop, and out of that loop,
But isn't
air
that
comes
a
into
closed
each
loop?
so
apartment.
tell me that
Isn't
you
it-
have
wait,
never
hold on a
smelled
second.
somebody cooking
Isn't that a
downstairs,
closed
it comes in. If I
water
burn
system
toast, your apartment
that
is
goes
coming
through
in.
pipes?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a connection from that closed water system into your unit somehow,
Yeah, I
right?
know, so it goes to my unit through the filter in my house, but it doesn't go next door's filter.
Okay.
It does.
Yeah,
Can we
but,
give this?
however,
Wait, hold on a second.
but I can explain to you
Wait,
something
wait,
better,
wait,
we can get out of this conversation.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but only thing they get in an individual apartment is the chilled water.
No,
Coming through a pipe,
Mario said
It's
to
not
explain
blown
it
through
to
the
you.
air.
It isn't so.
So we talked about this before, it is a closed loop. The big problem is not the air conditioning, it's the fact that this used to be a hotel, and there's really no insulation between apartments. That's what it is, it's really not, it's not the air conditioning, that's what people have pushed and said, but I always said it's a closed loop. I'm not a special in the HVAC system, so I couldn't argue it, but what I can tell you is that we have poor insulation in the building. And that is what causes the smoke
But I
and
don't
stuff. on
see
the level.
what the insulation in an apartment, which is the walls like this, has to do with smoke. It should be self-contained. Now, if they
No.
keep their
It's
door
not
open,
that
but
every
it's not.
unit
That's a
is
different
airtight
story.
or completely sealed. They're not these solid, blocks of.
Vent
but
over your
there's,
stove.
there's all kinds of ambient air around in the hallway. You open your door.
you know what,
Certain
right now,
common
I can
areas,
see.
even
Always
just in
something
units
else.
that still have doors, single doors, that go from one part of the unit to another, if that, what I mean, even if that's blocked on the other, it's just, there's really no way to get around it, it's.
Also, if you have your vent on over your stove, that vent pipe goes straight up and everybody's vent goes into it, okay? So my neighbor upstairs, Jim, tells me, oh my God, my apartment's on fire. What it is my neighbors across from me were burning toast. His whole apartment was covered in smoke. If they cook, his whole apartment smells like what they're cooking. It's just, that's how the building
And the
is.
point is that whether it's the air conditioning system or the poor insulation, there is definitely smoke going from one unit to the next and all over the halls.
There's
That is the purpose of this roof change. That's what it is.
I would
However
add-
it is that it's happening.
Let me just add, it's not that it's shared, there's a lot of construction that went on over the years, and if you have one little gap in the sheetrock, you're sharing your neighbor's space. So that's it, if you have the ability to go in there and make sure everything's sealed off, especially above the bathroom where there's a soffit, most of the time, you'll see that there's an air hole, and you'll put your hand in, you'll feel there's air coming in.
You can
from
see the
wherever.
neighbor's wall. And now
I did it in my apartment, I put the spray foam, and it really isolated a lot for my apartment studio. So that's about as much shared, it's only sheetrock between units, it's not like it's block wall.
All right, so we'll move on to the second one. The second one says, should section 11.7 of the declaration be amended to reduce the number of times a year that a unit can be rented? Right now it's 3. The proposed change is to be 2 times maximum rentals a year instead of 3. Explain that correctly? So right now you can rent a unit up to 3 times. The proposed change is for one person to only be allowed to rent it up to 2 times a year.
You know, one thing, when I looked at all those rules, I asked you to give me a copy and I looked over that. And I was talking with my sister. She says, you know, you call yourself a free country, but you have more rules than any country in the
Because you
world.
give up your right to individualism
Because-
when you
but-
live in a
But
condominium
you know,
building.
when you do this, when we change, when we make the rules and we make, you know, we have a management system. We can enforce our rules that we already have. We don't need to make new.
But you understand,
Nobody's making
these
these rules.
proposed rules are by, this is by residents, and it's a vote.
Yeah.
It's not the board saying it.
Right, it's not.
Yeah.
We made it so now it's the association actually votes, so.
Right. But you know,
Majority
a
wins.
lot of people are up north and they don't really read the stuff and do anything. But it really is.
Well, Eric,
I mean,
it has
yeah,
to
before
pass
sing-
by
Yeah,
majority.
it's incumbent upon an owner to read or not read, and that's their prerogative. If they don't want to, unfortunately, and they vote accordingly, we can't control that, And Mario knows, I go, and I don't disagree, I'm not a rule guy, I'm really not, but we go to Mario all the time, and especially, and this, and this, and this, and he's like, we can't really police to that level, it's just not realistic, so I'm not being contentious when I say that. There's just too much already to police, so the more we try and lay out there for behavior, it's less in theory maybe that we have to actually, change or police or monitor.
But Erica, if you live in your own home, that's fine. But when you live in a condominium building, you give up your right to individuality and you need to behave in a certain manner so that you don't affect the lives of your fellow
Right,
residents.
but it shouldn't have to have a rule system and like
Well,
a police kind of system.
Well, we
I'm
shouldn't
sorry,
have
I
police
have
and we
kind of,
shouldn't have jails either.
I have
Guys.
problem with that. It's a free country.
I understand.
Come on,
Erica,
people,
but
our
the
life
way-
is hard
I
enough.
mean, to be happy with rules in this building, you're about 40 years too late.
I mean,
The rules are already there. These are just some of the rules that are being amended. They're not
Right.
new rules.
But you are amending them with this kind of.
Right, but so the basic,
So
so
basically,
basically,
the alternatives, as they were asking for rule changes, different owners, we just say, no, we're not gonna put it up to committee. No, we're just keeping the way they are. So it wasn't the right thing to do. So if enough people are asking to change the rules, We have to say, okay, this is what people want, let's just put it out there. Otherwise, we just block it and say, no, we're not changing any rules. So that's not the right thing to do.
There's a thing in this
This
country
is
called
democracy
majority
at work,
rules,
right?
and
It
this
is.
will
Is
be
this not-
agreed or disagreed on by the majority. And that's,
Yeah,
that's basically.
Can you imagine what this building would be like if there were no rules?
Not to mention, this is,
Pandemonium.
at the end of
I
the
know, I
day,
would
this is
say
democracy.
That's exactly right.
You people come with issues, you present it, you vote yes or no, that's I don't, this
It's
isn't
just the way it
dictator, that is democracy. If you don't like it, you vote no, if you like it, you vote yes.
Simple as that.
I don't understand why.
Like, I don't anticipate doing something like this for years.
Yeah, I mean, this has been 5 years of us
So we
collecting.
need to move on.
5 years.
Yeah.
So,
Sorry, Mario.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just, if you can try to, are you the chair?
sure,
Are you the chair?
yes.
Maybe just try to like, so everyone can speak at once, because everyone's like talking over each other. Just have a question on the rule changes for the rental period. So this has been in place for decades. Like, how many people do you need, or did the board review from a request to reduce from 3 to 2? And how, like, I didn't even know that that was something that was even being considered.
We talked about it last time.
And
We were having the discussion,
You and I-
we were text, right? You were texting your
yeah,
questions.
no, I know, but when the proposition was made to the board and the board agreed to put it forward for a vote,
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to understand how many people requested the
Multiple
3 to 2?
meetings, the people that attend multiple meetings, they mentioned it multiple times, and then they're finally like, are you gonna put it up to change? We would like to do that. So there's 20 people here, and 7 of them constantly say, I would like to change it to 2. So we say, okay, we'll put it up to vote, and there's gonna be many people that say, hell no, we're gonna keep it 3.
Yeah, no, I get like putting it up to vote, so if there's people that wanna request to increase it from 3 to 4. So as long as if there's more additional people that request to put that rule change up, like why is it a 3 to 2 versus a 3 to 4?
No one said to do
Because
it.
no one said 3 to 4.
It's just, there's conversations in the background. Mario talks to the owners all day long and all year long. So he's getting the consensus of, if it's one person, no, we're not gonna do that. But if it's more than one person, yeah, we'll at least listen. I mean, how long have they been asking for that 3 thing? Probably over a year. But, because it's 2 years.
How big of a problem is it?
It
We're
doesn't
not saying it's a
matter.
problem.
I'm just saying enough people asked. Erica, it doesn't matter, enough people asked.
When we make rule changes like that, sometimes we do decrease the value.
Well, I
But the
personally,
rules are
I
not-
agree with you, and it's up
The
there. but
rules
yes, I
are not
agree.
changing. Okay?
Yeah.
We're presenting the rules out there, right? The pros and the cons. We, as owners, are gonna vote yes, or we're gonna vote no. It's not up to the board to decide.
Right, it's up to the owners.
It's up to us, all owners, and we are, except for Rick.
The alternative was to just
And Mario,
ignore the
we're
owners
all
when they say
owners.
it, which is.
So that's all we're here.
It
It
might,
will
it might
require,
lose
it will
resoundingly.
require 90 votes for that to go through. And a non-vote is a no vote. So it will require 90 yeses for that to go through. It's gonna require a lot of votes for that to go through, because
Right.
that's the fair thing. It's a big change, so it will require a lot of people to go to agree with it.
If people don't vote, it's a no.
Yes. Correct.
Meaning it stays the same.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. Item number 3, also for the declaration, also requires 90 votes. Should section 11.7 of the declaration be amended to allow the association to remove fees charged to a tenant which remain unpaid for a period of 30 days from the security deposit? I'll explain that. So there's a security deposit. When you rent your place, we hold a security deposit for everybody that rents. When a tenant breaks the rules and they get a fine and they don't pay it, and the lease ends, they can just leave. So what this is if the tenant is not paying, instead of the owner being stuck with the amount, it will come out of their deposit. The fee will come out of their deposit instead of it just staying with the unit and then the owner being responsible to pay the fine. That's what it is about. Well, the deposit is already there. It's 500, the deposit. The deposit that we hold is already 500, so it will come out of that. It's a maximum of $100 for fine if they don't fix the problem, so it will cover it.
And the
then-
secret is fines
But
are
now it's
not,
gonna be 1,000.
the silly rule
You're
is
changing it.
the fines are not
With the
enforceable
house.
to the owner,
Yeah.
meaning you have it on your books. You can't force them to pay until they sell.
When
It
you
just
say
stays on your books.
100 maximum, is that per violation?
Yes.
What if they have-
Per violation.
Per violation.
Up to 1,000.
That's a Florida statute.
Okay, number 4, Erica, what you're saying, should paragraph, this is rules and regulations, so it requires 50 plus 1% of the association. Should paragraph 10 of the rules and regulations regarding leasing of unit be amended to increase the security deposit from $500 to $1,000? Self-explanatory, I mean, the deposit that we have now is $500 across the board, that was probably set, how long ago? A long time ago.
Maybe before that.
$500 right now doesn't cover a whole lot, so if there are plenty of damages, we can
1,000.
get up to
Right,
500.
500
I agree.
So
Gone.
1,000 is the proposed rule change. Rule change number 5, should the rules and regulations regarding leasing of a unit and proposed residence be amended to require the association to approve applicants who only have a 650 or higher credit score? I think it used to be 640 or something, and then they removed it, and this is basically bringing it back so that the people that apply here and you must have a credit score of at least 650 to be approved by the association. That's what this change is about. It's very common across condominiums and apartments here in South Florida at least. Number 6, should the rules and regulations regarding violations remove the monthly interest, late fees, and administrative fees from unpaid fines? I believe we changed that because
You can't.
we're not even allowed to enforce an interest anyway. So it was kind of in the rules for no reason
Yeah.
because it's per Florida law, we can't do that anyways. So that's what that is. It's just to remove interest and late fees on unpaid violations. Number 7, should the rules and regulations regarding violations include the statutory right of the association to suspend an owner's right to use the common elements, common facilities, and any other property that belongs to the association if the fine remains unpaid for 90 days.
So that goes with what I was just saying about not being, Florida statute doesn't allow you to enforce to pay a fine, there's no late fees, it just sits in your account until you settle. So this would,
Yeah, I think 90 is low.
It's better than not having it. Something can happen to someone and they have.
so it's a way to enforce it,
But
say, all
90
right,
days.
okay.
So 90 days. If they haven't paid it in 90 days, then they will lose,
Yeah, what's your concern? That's just have it in there.
Number 8, should the rules and regulations regarding shopping carts be amended to limit shopping carts to the service elevator only? We are about to get new elevators. When we do a modernization, that we're gonna remodel the lobby elevators, and those carts have damaged the lobby elevators, as you can see now. So this would just limit the shopping cart to the service elevators instead of any elevator. Number 9, should the rules and regulations regarding contractors be amended to increase the damage deposit from $500 to $1,000? Same concept as the leasing. When a contractor's here, if they damage a couple of walls, they'll get past $500, no problem nowadays. Number 10, should the rules and regulations regarding contractors be amended to prohibit sewing or cutting on balconies? We explained this last time. Some contractors have been cutting wood on the balconies and they just make a mess downstairs. Debris can fall down, hit somebody, hit a car, becomes a liability. So, they can do it inside the apartment by sealing it off. They can plan ahead and do it outside the premises. Something like that. Yes.
What if they go right to the first floor of the back?
It depends on what it is. We've had contractors work and then just clean up the area, like work in the garage and kind of just clean up the
Yeah, they've
area.
done it in the garage, yeah, as long as they have a drop cloth and they do it, it just creates dust, but the thing is the balcony for damage and also getting dust on everyone else.
But they're given an area, Mario gives them the area.
Yeah, I've given them areas in the garage level where they can just by the door.
Yeah,
so
Victor
they can
oversees that.
clean it.
Even that is linked with my building Tennessee, I showed you have to go, you can't do anything in here in terms of sound. Normal carpentry, cabinetry, any cutting, everything has to be downstairs and out. designated area.
Yeah.
Just because of noise and, people having to listen to them.
And it's kind of why I said, they've come to us, it's not set in stone that they're allowed to do that, but if they're going to remodel an entire apartment, and they're gonna be doing that for days, then it's probably, you're gonna have to figure out. a way to-
So what we're proposing is the.
Yeah, the proposal is just that no cutting in the balconies, that's the only proposal. Next, where are we at? 11, should the rules and regulations regarding pets be amended to allow pets to use all the elevators, so any elevators? So right now, the rules say that pets are only allowed to use a service elevator. There's a lot of pets, so a lot of people want to use that, especially because the service elevator got stolen a couple of times. And but we do get accidents in the elevator, so that's really a vote up to everybody. Just like anything else, majority will vote on that.
And they pee in the elevator.
Yeah,
They sure do.
They do.
Even
That's
though
a fire,
we only
that's
have that problem at this time of the year, when people are renting, that problem doesn't happen when it's not in the season.
Yeah, but they can carry the dog and.
Yeah, but it only happens at this time of the year.
Yeah, but
It's particularly bad at peak season.
They have to follow
It's
the
gross.
They have
It's
to
generally
follow the
people that
rules.
don't live here year round, and not that they don't care, but I just don't think they're as conscientious as people who live here year round.
But you have to let them know.
Yeah, but
That's
If you catch them.
Right, if you catch them, and trust me, look, they'll tell you, I went off on this same issue, and I'm a dog owner, but I went into the service elevator yesterday, it was covered in urine. I mean, like a 4-foot puddle, like it was so gross.
That's the second time in 4 days.
Correct, and I didn't went out here to make sure it's not pool water, I went there, we looked on the videotape, I had security look. So any little issue like that, becomes this ripple, and so I do, right, and I do agree, but I also, on the flip side, I say, because other people who are dog owners are gross, like I have to be treated like a second-class citizen and go in the dirty service elevator that we have to constantly clean, so there's just, there's a learning that should happen here. It doesn't happen in other buildings I go in, I don't ever see that it's an issue, What, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
It shouldn't happen at all. It should not
Right,
happen.
right, I don't understand, but
What happens if you carry a beach chair, through the lobby and through the regular elevator? Is that allowed?
not supposed to come in right here in the back, directly into.
So you can't carry a beach chair through the lobby or through you gotta use the service elevator. But a dog, you couldn't allow to walk through the lobby.
But I have to tell you something, my dog is.
Don't make sense.
Upstairs, you got sand and stuff, and dog is.
Anybody's going.
Don't make sense.
The
You
dogs
never
are
know when
those.
they're gonna have an
But
accident.
again, you have to do a vote.
Children or people.
Again, right, it's up to a vote.
Yeah, so again, it's just a
Everything
majority.
has been changed, it's
It's
just
the
up to a vote.
majority is gonna decide.
I just think
It's a
that
vote,
it be,
it's a vote.
Yeah, you make a vote.
you have to have the service elevator for the dogs.
I think we should have this.
That's what you're gonna hit the vote on.
Because my dog-
We'll hit the vote on it. We'll hit the vote on your choice,
Okay.
okay? The next one, number 12, should the rules and regulations regarding use of common areas inside condominium be amended to prohibit owners and residents from access to the utility room? So this is in reference to like utility rooms in the garage. There was a time where other residents, some of whom don't live here anymore, were constantly going into the utility room, which becomes a liability because there's equipment and all that. Nobody's allowed to touch the equipment. Yeah, but he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one. There's still people that live here that did that. So that's the reason why that came into place, which is the way it should be. People shouldn't just be walking into utility rooms, but that would be a vote, yeah.
I already know. Silly. Just silly.
Number 13, should the rules and regulations regarding parking rules for residents, tenants, guests, and visitors be amended to decrease the number of guests and visitors parking passes from 3 to 2 per day during season, between November 1st and April 30th? 3 parking passes per unit owner is what the rules have right now. During season, if multiple people get 3 passes, that there's no parking for the residents, especially at night. So this rule just says that it will take it from 3 to 2. That way, It would only be between November and April, so that there's, no lack of parking spaces for owners, especially in tenants. So that's what that rule is about. It will only be from November to 30th, same in number 14, it will also be during season. And it says the rules and regulations regarding parking rules for residents, tenants, guests, and visitors be amended to limit each unit to only one overnight pass during the season. So during season, you would only get 2 passes instead of 3, but only 1 overnight pass. So if you have somebody staying over, you can get a pass for that person, but a second one will not be allowed to park overnight.
I don't understand what you're saying. In other words, if I have my grandchildren coming and staying for a week, how many passes I can get?
You get 1 overnight pass.
Just for the car.
So the 2 that can't travel.
Wait, so,
No, they're not bringing 2
well,
cars.
that's.
No, this is related to cars and parking, not guests.
Not
guests.
No, not guests. You can have as many guests as you want. This is just parking passes.
I thought maybe we're.
Oh, no, you're not just, no, this is just parking passes.
We don't entertain those
No.
type of rules, no.
As an owner, if you have your car here and you have a guest come to stay with you,
Yeah.
you can't get an overnight parking.
Yes, you
Yes,
can.
yes.
This is outside of
But if you have
overnight.
3 separate.
This is
guests,
only
it's
guest
not
passes,
enough.
only guest passes.
And you can
That's
still
all.
have another guest come during the day.
Yeah.
You're only there overnight.
It's just only for guest passes.
Yeah.
Number
Wait,
15.
wait,
Sorry,
Oh.
so this is not too clear for me, so, because it doesn't, it mention frequency, like suppose, for example, somebody has a birthday party for their son, right? So for one day, they wanna have 3 guests over, I think it's reasonable, right, if they never have guests at all. Whereas here, you're trying to, I think, address people that are frequently abusing the guest.
I think that the purpose of this rule is not that. The purpose of this rule is not based on somebody that's not gonna be able to have their guests here for a birthday party. It's more about the people that get home and don't have a place to park because there's so many guests in the Birds parking lot. That's the main
I
reason.
mean, the way around it is you
People
can
don't have-
ask a neighbor to use,
Yeah.
I've done it before, to say, I'm gonna take your guest pass. That's the way around it.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Number 15, should the rules and regulations regarding parking rules for parking applicable to all parties be amended to only allow owners to park in the patio parking area from 6 to 8? So we have contractor parking. That is contractor parking Monday through Friday, during contractor hours, Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and Saturday 10 to 4. After that, the way it is right now, anybody can park there. After hours, any resident can park there, including tenants. This will make it so that owners can park. They're kind of like the back parking that is owner only. These will become also only owners, not anybody, but only owners. That's what this one is in particular. Should the rules, number 16, should the rules and regulations regarding parking rules for parking applicable to all parties be amended to enforce that 60-minute parking rule in the patio parking area from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m.? So 60-minute parking right now becomes, I think becomes parking for all at night.
Yeah, 15,
What was it?
16 are a little bit.
Hold on, I got the information.
Those contradict each other.
By voting yes, this is only for 60 minutes though, not for the contractor parking. It's only the 360-minute parking. It says, by voting yes, this will only allow owners to use the contractor spots. This will keep 60-minute parking as 60-minute parking throughout the night. However, our rules and regulations specify that if there are no spots on the Birds lot, security will appoint the resident a place to park, and the 60-minute parking spaces will be reserved spots for those rare occasions. So this rule, what it's saying is that it will make 60-minute parking 60-minute parking only during the night. No one can just park there and leave their car overnight. However, in a rare occasion that there are no spots anywhere, an owner or a resident can go out to security and security will allow them to park at 60-minute parking. So they will still be there.
It's supposed to be a transient spot. It's supposed to be at a convenience.
Like,
For a fair,
Yeah,
that's what it's
for-
for, but like he's saying, if it comes to the fact there's no parking spots, all right, you can park there.
Number 17, should the rules and regulations regarding parking rules for parking applicable to all parties be amended to require vehicles blue parking stickers with temporary parking passes which is park in the garage, remove their vehicle by 8 AM the next morning. So if you're an owner, you have a black decal, you can park in the garage. If you have a blue decal, there's no spots anywhere. Security will appoint you to go ahead and park in the garage. For some reason, the rules right now say that that person can leave their car down there until 4 PM, which I believe it was a typo. We believe it was a
Yeah, it
typo.
didn't make any sense.
Because it wouldn't make any sense for you to just leave your car there. So this is kind of changing the rule to the way it should be, where you can park your car downstairs, but then we ask you to move it out and park it in another spot by 8 AM.
As we lose your second decal as an owner, all right?
If you have
Yes.
two cars, your second
Yeah.
car gets a blue one.
An owner has two cars, gets a black decal and a blue decal, so they gotta pick which car is gonna be parked in the garage and which one will be parked. Okay, so this is just to change it so people can move their car out of the garage by 8 AM instead of 4 PM. Number 18, should the rules and regulations regarding the fitness center be amended to prohibit children under the age of 13 to be unattended in the gym? We saw a few kids who were like 6, 7 years old that were in the gym with other parents. That is a huge liability for the building, so we kind of try to come
I
up.
use the gym every day, and I almost saw a kid get his fingers smacked, because sometimes the equipment gets broken, and he put his fingers to, and I had to pull his fingers out, so they should not, I do not think they should be in there. That would have been a nightmare.
I think
We do have a sign, but I don't think
There's
anybody.
nothing specifically
I
around
think
it.
it's for, I don't know, something, kids must be.
Well, it's not passed yet, so-
Yeah, there's
At
some,
that point, it should be
not
signed.
like.
We'll post it.
But I think that parents should kind of monitor their young children downstairs. I saw one nearly drowned in the pool the other day. I didn't say a word, I just left it going under. Because I figure if you don't wanna look at your kid, it's okay. But you should really kind of look at your children when they're around. That's what
Well,
they
children have to be
We're gonna leave that part of the recording.
Yes.
And we're gonna move on to.
All right, according to that part of the board meeting.
Please make sure that part gets.
Yeah.
Should the rules and regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to no longer permit plants on the balconies or terrace? This rule came about,
Yes or no vote?
yeah, because
This is my
after the,
number one piece.
I know that's Erica's big one. Yeah.
I mean,
You voted
honestly,
according.
I used to have a yard. You cannot not have me my poinsettias or geraniums
Yeah.
or.
You just gotta vote against it. I
Vote
mean,
against it.
some people that have plants, water the plants and
And
black dirt
Dirty
just drip
water
on the
comes
building.
down.
And the building had just recently been
Can be
painted.
fine.
You can put,
Yes, you can, yes.
We can find them.
Yes, you can.
I mean, come on,
Yes, you can.
yes, you can.
you know,
You wouldn't cover the cost though, but you can.
Yes.
I will take,
It won't
take
cover
it
the
there,
cost if
but
you-
do not make me move my geranium.
All right, number 20, should the rules or regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to exclude light fixtures and TV outlets from being temporarily or permanently suspended or affixed to the balcony ceiling, walls, or railings?
Insurance.
Yeah, this
Insurance.
kind of just to keep it at like a knee level, I think, for the outlets, so that you cannot see them. Nothing should be affixed as per the rules anyways to the ceiling or the walls. So this is really not be, this kind of goes hand in hand with the rules that are already there. Just nothing to be affixed on the walls or ceilings or railings, which I don't think we can anymore at this point. Number 20, should the rules or regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to exclude light fixtures and TV outlets of being, sorry guys.
No, we did that.
Yeah.
That's the high cover furniture.
Twin lights. Should the rules or regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to limit the height of furniture placed on balconies or terraces to not exceed the height of the balcony railings? Purpose of this rule, the wind alone on a windy day can knock out a heavy cup from the table right out the balcony. And then it becomes a hazard down there, ashes from cigarette, from ashtrays, stuff like that. So, just keep the table lower than the balcony, that way there's some kind of protection from debris falling down into the downstairs. That's all it is.
Tidying up some rules. It's basically.
I mean, the railing is pretty high. I don't
You
think
don't
you need a
have,
table
you
that high.
have to tell people these things. I know you think it's unusual, but you do have.
And you'll see huge beach umbrellas just stuck on a table or, just waiting to go. You'll see those standing huge sort of egg-shaped chairs that swing on a balcony that are 4 feet taller than, it's crazy. I don't know, people don't, realize the liability and the concern. It is.
Bottle come flying over and hit your car, it's terrible.
Number 22, should the rules or regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to allow December holiday decorations to be hung inside the balcony railing only? Some people are hanging decorations on the outside, which again, it could fall on people. I mean, you can put it as glass railings, you can put them on the inside and you'll still be able to see them. So that's what this rule is about. Now that we have glass railings, hang them on the inside, not on the outside of the railing. Number 23, should the rules and regulations regarding balconies and terraces be amended to require that December holiday decorations are removed no later than January 15th? Just so that there's no Christmas in June. January 15th is a good time, I guess. Everybody knows. So that's what it is. It's just so that people can remove their decorations by January 15th. Number 24, should the rules and regulations regarding lobby building entrance to be amended to require beach users to use the pool entrance instead of the west entrance, which is south. Before, this one didn't exist. Before, it was only this one. So people will still walk through there. We were protecting the lobby from sand and water and stuff like that from people falling, but people still, this hallway was still a risk. If you enter through there, first of all, there's a shower. Second of all, you can enter right into the service elevator right from home.
But the fobs are not working.
It works, but it's tricky because the wind pushes it. You just gotta go like this and it will open. If you try it, if you do the fob and just push it twice, the door will open. But it is tricky, I agree. It's
Twice? Okay.
It opens out, yeah, into the parking.
Be careful when it's windy, so they'll take you down.
So they'll take you
Why
down.
don't we make it easier for her so she won't have a problem? Let's adjust it.
Yeah, the fobs don't work. It's not a bug. It doesn't even turn green, and it's a constant issue with the fobs.
So I think we need to just look into that, because I've heard that from numerous people, they're not
Okay.
the only ones.
I will,
hear
but
it constantly.
every time I hear that, though, every single time that I hear that, I go over there and I open. Every single time. I go on my fob, the door opens.
When the meeting is over, we're gonna all go back there and get married.
But we'll take a look at it. It's just that, we've had ATEC here so many times. I agree. I mean, it's still, you shouldn't be able to do it. You should just go, beep. It shouldn't be that simple, but ATEC, I don't know, they can't find any better way of fixing that. Maybe we should call somebody else.
Is it the strength? The strength.
They say that the wind pushes the door so that the lock is pushing against the mechanism that automatically releases itself, so it doesn't release itself. So once you push the door in, it releases and then you're able to go.
Also push in, and that's what you're saying, it's friction.
Should we put a wind barrier around it? It's a channel, we can put like a door on a door.
I don't even believe that wind excuse is real.
I don't believe it either. I think that it's
I
effective.
think that's just them saying that, their mechanism doesn't work. All right, we can step
We'll
outside.
check it out.
Sorry, Mario,
Yes.
just one other comment. I'm gonna vote no for that rule, because I don't think it's reasonable to force people to have to go through that door. I think the way it's been working for years, they should have the option. We pay maintenance fees to have people clean the hallways, maintain them. So I personally don't think that that's a fair rule change. I'm just making my comment known, but I understand, and again, wear and tear, but it's wear and tear, people
I
just
think
walking
what
in
we
and out.
should do is hire somebody to come in and clean on the weekends, so that when everybody brings all their sand and mess and we're destroying the floor, we should just up the maintenance fees and hire somebody to come in on weekends.
So I have a follow-up comment to that comment. So we have people here 5 days a week, all day, and so it can get cleaned Monday, because
No, on Saturday and Sunday, it's like walking on the beach. It actually etches the tiles and destroys it.
okay, so I don't know what the activity is Monday to Friday compared to Saturday and Sunday.
Worse
But I-
on Saturday and Sunday.
But even if it is, we have people here during the week, but we have no one here Saturday and Sunday.
Fair enough. So anyhow, that's my comment.
And, logically, you would think that the weekends are busier also to go to the beach because people are not at work and they have guests and stuff like that. You will still be a vote.
There's
And
also
at the
another
end of the
problem
day-
with water.
Sorry, at the end of the day, I've said this to Mark many times, it's common sense. If you are full of sand and whatever, for sure. But oftentimes I'm back and forth and I clean myself and all my stuff before I come through.
But
I think if it was
you
common
behave
sense,
in
we
a
wouldn't
correct
be having
way.
the discussion.
Agreed, no, I
We would
understand,
have
I'm just saying from my perspective.
Understood.
But we also, you behave in the correct way, but people wash their stuff off and walk down that corridor with water now. I look because I know who I'm living with, but if you are walking down that corridor and there's water there, she's gonna bust your tape. No, but you understand, it's a regular thing, I constantly have to tell security, can you please mark the floor? I mean, really.
It's the same walking through this door. Someone's
It's
gonna
not,
be in.
because you don't slip on those tiles and you go straight through on a carpet. It's not the same.
Yeah, this is not slippery, and there's a carpet in between that door and the service elevator door.
It's a safety issue.
It
Correct,
is
it's a safety issue. We've seen a lot of water.
Someone falls down and says,
Correct.
full of water,
And then we can
versus
see.
falling directly to the surface elevator.
Lisa, if you don't have sand and you're not wet, you don't have to worry about it, you just enter out the door, that's
Well, no,
all.
just
This is
based
just
on-
if you're wet and full
But
of
just
sand.
based on the rule, it sounds like if I'm coming from the beach regardless, whether I'm wet or not, it sounds like the rule is forcing me to use that door. And I don't know,
I
but.
don't know how interesting people where they come in.
No, I get it, Mark, but we're here just to talk about the rules, to
It's a
understand them.
deterrent.
So that's all I'm just
It's-
referencing.
Point taken.
5 more steps.
Okay, number 25. Right, yes. Should the rules or regulations regarding moving in or out be amended to include a $250 deduction from the moving deposit if the moving out takes place outside of the designated time frames? So there's already a deposit for whoever has a tenant here, okay? Some tenants, because when they leave here, they don't care, right? They're gone, they're gone. So they decide that they're gonna move out and on a Sunday.
6 in the morning.
And
on a
it
Sunday.
literally happened about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Security went up there and
Yeah.
said, you're not allowed to move on a Sunday. He's like, what are you gonna do? And they kept moving, and there was nothing that could be done. So what can be done is that a $250 fee gets taken out of the deposit, and then the landlord can charge their deposit for those $250. Yes,
People moving in at 6 o'clock in the morning.
or that, right, anything. Right, because the moving times are Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4. Anything outside of that is breaking the moving rule.
But what time is supposed to move the people in? What time?
Between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday, between 10 and 4 Saturday.
Okay, they're doing at 6 o'clock in the morning.
We know that.
Right, yeah, that's what we're talking about, people do
Because I
that.
see it.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
know,
what
that's what we're saying,
That's what we're saying.
it happens, and
So now when they know they're not gonna get their full deposit back, perhaps
It would
they
deter
won't,
them.
perhaps.
Again, that's gonna be incumbent on an owner to explain to renter and also the married.
And it will be during the interview, no, during the interview, it will be said.
Right, sure.
Yeah, once the rule passes, this will be part of my interview process, when I explain things to people. Yeah, they get the rules and regulations. During the application process, they get a copy of it. And then what I do is I have 2 pages worth of the most common rules. And during the interview, I go down that list and I kind of explain the more common guidelines of the building to everyone. So this will be part of it. Last one, should the rules and regulations regarding moving in and out be amended to increase the moving deposit from 500 to 1,000? Same concept as the rental and contractor deposit. They just, $500 deposit doesn't really cover a lot of damages nowadays, so that's what that is. That's all.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about people here, they do a party with the music so loud, I can hear in my throat.
That's part of the nuisance, it depends on the time, how loud it is. You can call security.
I did.
Yeah.
All the time.
And then what you can do is call the police, because it is a civil matter, and it is your peaceable enjoyment.
Like 10 o'clock.
Right, but don't you put
You don't watch
everybody-
it, right?
Yeah,
The city rented.
they said about it.
And
No, it's earlier than that.
It is 10. Oh,
Is it 10 or 11?
No, I actually think they changed it. Someone told me that, I actually talked to a police officer because of that music there. It's 10, but depending, it can be 9 o'clock.
In the hotel.
Is what-
9 o'clock, okay, yeah, I heard that.
9 o'clock.
And you can't-
So you
But,
can't call
Maria,
the police.
what I would do though, Co-security, co-security. If it happens again,
And then the music show.
okay, good. That's the way it should be. And if it doesn't, they know to call me. And then I'll address it as well, you know, and it will, and then we, we'll do the best we can.
Every Saturday. Every Saturday.
Yeah, it happens. That's part of the music. That's already in the declaration. We already have to change that. It's have to enforce it.
And the music, I think was
That's, anybody have any questions about the
But they
rules?
can't do that.
Changes?
What
Anybody,
about,
anything
you know what we didn't
unclear?
address?
What?
Sharon is saying we didn't address, Sharon is now saying we didn't address boom boxes and speakers. Believe it or not, we now have people who do that. The other people who live on the balconies here no matter, they only matter.
Yeah, but that's another security that the
Yeah,
doesn't say.
it goes back to music.
It should
Like,
be-
you can't put everything.
It should be out of control. If someone's blasting a
Yeah,
radio,
that's fine.
if you find someone, you just call someone.
It says it on the sign.
It does, on the rules and regulations.
Wireless speakers.
Once, I don't know
Two
what you're
different
saying.
phones. I mean, I never saw anyone have a problem. Just, it's too loud, it's, you tell them to turn it down. Talking about boom boxes.
What?
Cool.
No, I was saying we're not allowed, technically, read the rules, we're not
I
allowed
love music.
So, yeah, the rules are there. Those are rules are from the same.
I'm just saying,
They're from the health
yeah,
department.
it's not like.
Right, exactly. It's kind of common courtesy. I don't like to put
Well, I don't think I'm just saying, it's out on those, it's on, go on.
Signs are just signs.
Common sense, be respectful.
Right, it's be respectful.
All right, well, does anybody else have anything to add? No? All right, we already adjourned, so we don't even have to do that anymore. Well, thank you guys all for coming.
I tried.
We will,
Are we gonna vote?
we will let you know, the voting will probably take place around March, give or take, is when, because we're gonna send all these out and we're gonna require about 2 months to collect all the votes. So we will have another meeting somewhere around March, where the votes will be counted. So you will have, my next step this week is to send this final draft to the mailing department or to the department with Castle Group, where they're gonna send the actual proxy to everybody, or our attorney, I think it's our attorney.
I just want to say something. The rules here says, 2017, radios or other electronic devices are permitted to be used with earphones only. No musical instrument.
Oh, so it's there already.
So it's in
That's
here.
probably what it's there.
And this is, so it's in here.
Yeah, I thought I saw it.
Oh, no, that's what I wrote
So that
to
was-
this one, so just for clarification.
So that's still in there.
Perfect owner and everything.
See?
Everybody will get a package and they'll vote yes. no.
2017, okay?
It will be a package very similar to this one,
Just go down the line.
and you just go and just
Yeah, that's
vote
the
yes.
corresponding-
I would like one that's regular. This is a temporary, and it wouldn't.
Richard, do you have an actual proxy?
Honey, you gotta do one.
Does he have the proxy? Oh,
summary.
I
Here.
have a summary,
here's a
and
proxy.
it doesn't say the one,
Thank
two, like you said, or whatever.
That's very similar to what you're gonna get. And then you'll have a yes or a no for each one. All right. That being said, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, I would, but I don't think. Very convenient. But everything is.
No, your mom has just yeah, we have proxies.
From the year.
I think email is where we want to.
Getting it when we started.
If you're not getting. So that was the main reason for the increase on the maintenance. And it's just cost,
Oh, the problem with that, Jack?
By the main reason for the insurance. I really.
Could have been the same.
Well, I'm worried about.
No.
I'm actually
We're so far, 2 years ago, everybody was yesterday, no, no. Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, so this is just cumulative, okay?
We also have, rules and law about.
No, that's what.
No, that's different. That's just on that, or is that?
Yeah, you're always getting something.
I know.
We're growing.
Good to hear.
You're welcome.